Now, in my last video, I talked about the connections between Ja Morant and Kyrie Irving, and I laid out many things to support that in regards to, my understanding or what I picked up when it comes to the connections between Kyrie Irving and Ja Morant, esoterically, as well as the program and so on and so forth. I talked about how Kyrie Irving, when he came back from his suspension, he came back and played against the Grizzlies. Now, Ja Morant, in his first appearance since being suspended, comes back against the Mavericks, the team that Kyrie plays for. So they just continue to perpetuate what I understand about this connection, at least based off of my observations. You know what I mean? Like, it's just there, man. It's just there. They let you know based off of these storylines what it's really about. And these two are connected in some way when it comes to the programming. Kyrie Irving and Ja Morant, I mean.
Oh, that looks like fun. Shannon, what's your reaction to all this?
Nothing. It's rap. These kids is what the kids listen to now, and Ja's extremely excited about being back. He's been away from his team for about 10, 11 days. And this is what they do, Skip. When somebody has a good game, they normally come dump word on them. They interrupt the interview, they put their arm around them, and they're laughing and talking and joking with them in the background. So I don't have a problem with Ja. Ja is extremely excited. I want to be clear, crystal and abundantly clear. I have no problem with what Ja did last night. The crowd erupted when he joined his teammates on the sideline right before the tip of the ball game. Their best player, their all-star, superstar player is back to join them. And it looks like he's going to join the team on Wednesday, be in uniform, and be ready to go. So, Skip, this is what these guys do. A close ball game last night. They were down for the better part of much of the ball game and somehow found a way to win this ball game without Ja being in the lineup. And so Ja was extremely excited for his team. He's extremely excited for his teammate. And that's what you do when some of the lesser tier players that don't normally get shine, when they play well. I remember, Skip, when I was in the league and the younger guys did something good, or rookie or young, first or second year player did something good, Skip, we egged them on, get him. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's my dog. And so that's what Ja was doing last night. Nothing more, nothing less. These young kids today, Ja is 23, about to be 24 in a couple of months. And this is the type of music that they listen to. This is what they can quote. Me, I can quote R&B, but I have no problem with Ja last night and what he did and the emotion that he had on the sidelines.
Okay. I'm trying to be with you on this. I want to be with you on this because I want Ja Morant to come back better than ever. Mm-hmm. I want him to succeed because I've always been a fan of his since his college days. And I hope you're right about everything you said, mm-hmm. because if I just take quoting a rap lyric in a vacuum, it's like so not a big deal that it's laughable that we're even discussing it.
Correct.
But we can't, when it comes to Ja, take it completely out of the context of what he just went through.
Right.
So I'll just say this. It was not a good sign that he quoted that rap lyric.
Bruh, Skip is reaching. He's reaching hella hard right now because all Ja Morant said was, "It's a parade in my city, yeah." He quoted an NBA Youngboy lyric. That's all that was, bro. And it wasn't even a lyric that was derogatory. It wasn't a lyric that had to do with any sort of violence. He just said it's a parade in my city, yeah. And maybe that's correlated with what may come in June. If we see the Grizzlies in the finals, perhaps. Never know. But this dude, Skip, he's reaching, man. That's all he doing.
You either have to give him credit for being a smart kid or not a smart kid, and I give him high credit because I think he's a smart kid. I think he knows exactly what he's all about. When he makes choices, even if they're bad choices, I think they're not dumb choices, that they're calculated on his part. I want to be a part of that, or I want to be a part of this.
Okay.
So, given the fact that he had just recently been through 4 different incidents, mm-hmm. that led up to what happened in Denver, Colorado at the strip club.
Denver, Colorado. You know, it's interesting. That just seems like a place where a lot of alleged rituals, alleged situations happen in regards to the Hegelian dialectic, where you pretty much have something take place where there's a reverberation from it when it comes to reactions and whatnot. the asset having to be put through some sort of disciplinary programming. You know, it's the same thing with Ja Morant when it comes to his decision that he made in Denver, Colorado in the strip club. And then from there, the disciplinary action and also the programming in regards to him going to Florida to get counseling and treatment. What type of nonsense is that? Like, what person gets treatment after they flash a gun? Where they appear to be cool and lit. You know, Ja Morant was lit. He was turned up. So, how do you get treatment for that? Like, it seems like you're cool. And they try to correlate it with mental health. Oh, this person flashed a gun. There's something wrong with him. He needs help. He was just, escaping. It was an escape for him. He needs to let go of the stress, so he flashed the gun. Those, like, you never heard a case of this where someone does some silly shit like this where they flash a gun, or just in the same, in the same vein as what Ja Morant did. It's never been correlated with stress, or this person, we need to empathize with him. Like, it's just crazy. That's how you know that this shit is all scripted, man. It's all scripted. And it just came out of nowhere. And it's all scripted because Ja Morant was triggered to do what he did because he did it in the midst of all the news surrounding him, all the allegations surrounding him. Why would you do that if you have all these allegations surrounding you? That's how you know that this shit is a narrative. And then the Kyrie Irving angle pretty much proves that because they keep laying out these connections. Skip Bayless, even him, he lays out these connections. Obviously, I'm not on the level that I'm laying it out, but it's like he's letting you know that he knows what this is about when it comes to the deeper aspects of it. That's why he tries to play coy and like just pose a question, but he understands what it's about. He's in the know. He's a Kabbalist. High level Luciferian Skip Bayless is. And Shannon Sharp.
Dangling of the gun that he chose to post on IG Live. Then all of a sudden he's suspended for 2 games and then 4 games and then I don't know how many games. All of a sudden I'm told, wait a second, he could be back last night. He was cleared to come back and play last night if he was in shape enough to play basketball. And we both agreed last week when we discussed this, it seemed a little weird.
Y'all saw that? Skip Bayless just put his hand on his temple. So that's him letting you know that what he's about to say, he's about to lead on pretty much. He's about to present it in a way where he's not giving you the full understanding from his perspective on a deeper level. Because obviously he can't, but that's one of those things where it's a signal to the people to know that, I'm laying out something that has a deeper aspect to it, but I have to present it in a simplistic way.
That we were told that he went to get help at a facility in Florida. I don't know what kind of facility it was, but even you were the first to say, well, wait a second, you can't just check into one of those facilities for...
See, he knows what kind of facility it was. He knows that it's based in the programming. He understands that. He knows that. Come on, bro. But he tries to lay this out as if it's like he's playing coy. He doesn't understand. You know what it is, bro. What the fuck you gotta go to Florida for? What's the point of him going to Florida just because he flashed a gun? Where they try to correlate that with stress. Ja Morant being programmed to say something like, well, it was just a getaway for me. It's a great escape for me or something like that, where he pretty much try to justify the idiocy by saying it was stress and it was an escape. But when you see the IG Live, you see him all turned up. So where was the stress at? Where was the me letting this off? Let me just get this off. Like, no, bro, it's some bullshit. The person did that because he was prompted to, just for, him to be put under the programming, reprogramming, the paces, pretty much reinforce that black ratchet archetype when it comes to listening to the silly music, NBA Youngboy type of vibe. Just him doing nonsensical, stupid shit. Just like the average so-called black man from the hood. That's just what they want to reinforce. They want to continue to reinforce this image of the so-called black man when it comes to Mr. Ja Morant. And it's just funny because Nike pulled Kyrie Irving for what he did, but they didn't pull Ja Morant for what he did. It's just crazy, man. And all Kyrie Irving did was post a link to something that has to do with some sort of information. Whether it's bad information, good information, it's just some shit that's informative. Ja Morant literally showed some shit in which he can incriminate himself, and Nike does nothing. That's how you know that when it comes to high level information, that's valuable. That's a threat to them. That's powerful. But yeah, man, Skip Bayless is pretty much laying out the scenario where Ja Morant went to Florida, and he's pretty much laying it out in a way where he's inquisitive, like, I don't understand. But you do understand. You do know why he went to Florida. And it's just he goes to fucking Florida out of all states. That's how you know these storylines, man, they're esoteric. They're scripted, man. That's all it is. You go to Florida for 3 or 4 days because some sort of treatment that you need. What treatment do you need? Just because you flashed a fucking gun. And code word treatment. You know, that's the code word or the key word, treatment. That means programming. That's all that fuck that means. You going to counseling. Like, come on, bro.
3 or 4 of treatment facility of whatever kind for 3 or 4 days and suddenly be cured. And I've seen lots of quotes from different mental health.
He says suddenly be cured. Cured from what? What the fuck he got to be cured from? What was he diagnosed with? The man was turned up and lit in the strip club, and they want to make it seem as if it's a stress issue. They just using a mental health angle to justify doing dumb shit, man. So I can go and fucking rape some kids and it's okay because they'll empathize with me and say, well, it's just mental health, he's stressed. And it's crazy because people like that, you know, rapists and whatnot, serial killers, they're kind of similar to these bugged out motherfuckers who decide that they want to sex change and whatnot. Those people, they've been preyed on and they prey on little kids too. But yeah, man, like this shit is just ridiculous. Skip Bayless is letting you know that he understands what's really going on. And it's just silly that they really say that this person needed some curing. He needed to be cured. Come on, bro. This person was put under programming, man.
Professionals who have questioned the credibility of going for 3 or 4 days, they all say you can't go fix your issue if in fact you have an issue in that shorter time.
Right.
That's how you know that he went for programming. That's how you know that he went for programming, just like Skip Bayless laid out here. Where it's like you have professionals questioning the duration of time or the length of time that he's at the facility or the treatment facility, whatever fuck you want to call it. That's how you know that it's based in him being reprogrammed. That's why they use these Hegelian tactics. Because it's based in pretty much, you know, it's based in pretty much trying to complete a certain mission that's deeper than what's being led on. You feel what I'm saying? Like on the surface, it's just, you know, Ja Morant did some dumb shit. He gets through, you gotta be put through some sort of disciplinary action. And then he issues a mea culpa, everything is all good. But when it comes to the Hegelian dialectic, when it comes to like what's really at play in regards to this script, it's just all about pretty much reprogramming their asset, reprogramming their subject.
So I told you last week, I felt a little bit misled by all this because I gave in his opening statement that he made. He said, I'm going to seek the help that I need. And then Nike defended him and backed him in ways that didn't back Kyrie, as you recall. And we're going to talk about Kyrie here in a few minutes on the show.
You see, they keep on drawing these connections between Kyrie Irving and Ja Morant just when it comes to the similarities between, you know, their storylines. As far as what happened with Kyrie in the beginning of the NBA season and what's going on with Ja Morant at the end of the NBA season. Alpha to the Omega. Kyrie is Yahweh, Ja Morant is Yahweh, Yahweh, same thing. But just based off of the esoteric front when it comes to what they're conveying. Obviously, the Most High, these people are not the Most High. I'm just saying this based off of what they're conveying in regards to the esoteric connection, the similarities.
In relation to John, what he said about Ja after the game. But
hand on temple again. So what he's about to say right now, he's pretty much letting on. He's pretty much presenting it in a way where he's trying to act as if he doesn't really understand or he's unaware.
The Nike in its statement said that we're glad that he's going to take the time to get the help he needs.
Right.
Well, the operative word was time because I thought it's going to take a little time. I wasn't going to be surprised if he was gone for the rest of the season.
Well,
you see, time, that's pretty much an allusion to him being put under programming. It's going to take some time. You know? That's what it is, man. So right there, that's Skip letting you know that he's pretty much letting on as far as what he's presenting here. Just, from my observation, I could be wrong. I'm not saying that what I'm saying is pure gospel, like it's set in stone right. It's just based off of what I pick up and what I understand about how things match up when it comes to the corollary aspect, as far as how they convey the esoteric motifs, the Luciferian motifs, hand signs, certain illusions, hand to the temple, so on and so forth.
Skip, time is a relative term.
Okay, well, there you go. All right. So here we go. That's my context from last night. So he's back on the bench, and I'm happy to see him back on the bench. And I thought, is he going to be a little bit subdued just out of respect of what he's been through? He was not.
No.
He was 1,000% Ja Morant on the bench.
He was cheering for his teammates. What are you talking about? Subdued. It's like these people, man. The terms that they use. But all he was doing was cheering for his teammates, man. He wasn't acting a fool. He wasn't doing none of that. When JJJ, when he hit the I think it was some sort of when he drove and there was a foul call for the drive, he got the N1. You saw Ja Morant doing a little telephone thing. I don't know what that has to do with anything. Maybe that's a part of something that they do. But that's just Ja Morant cheering for his team. That's like, what do you want him to do? Just sit there and just be quiet? Like, come on, like a fucking robot. Loaded terms, right? Robot. And loaded terms coming from him. Subdued.
And he wanted to be the center of attention every time timeout was called and the team's coming to the sideline huddle. He's jumping up in the middle of it because he can't wait to get back on the floor.
He's the center of that team. He's the center of the team. The team is Ja Morant. So at the end of the day, bro, it's like that's the main person that they're gonna come to after they, score a bucket and whatnot. They look at him as someone that, they fuck with hard. Just for lack of a better expression. They really, appreciate Ja Morant and what he brings to the team. He's the leader of the team. He's the best player on the team. Of course, they're gonna gravitate towards him. Especially if he's gravitating towards them. Like if Ja Morant is giving them the energy, it's gonna be reciprocated. That's just what it is. It's like what Skip Bayless laying out here. Skip Bayless is just, he's reaching sometimes, but Ja Morant is just someone who's just on the surface as far as what you saw with him on the court, him cheering for his teammates and whatnot. That's just him doing that because, he's on the team. He loves his teammates. Like that's all that is.
It's so bad. He missed this. It did show him how much he missed basketball.
Right.
And it teaches you, even in a short time, you miss like 8 games.
Right.
And you sit back and say, God, I really didn't appreciate just how great this was. I want to be back part of it.
Kyrie Irving talked about Morant's situation. Kyrie saying, quote, there was an overload of judgment on Ja. There was an overload of judgment on what I had going on. And there's usually an overload of judgment from the public court of opinion. Shannon, you think Kyrie has a point here?
No.
Nah, Kyrie does have a point. Kyrie is pretty much just laying out the similarities of what they had to go through. And it just further, proves my understanding of the Luciferian esoteric connection between Kyrie Irving and Ja Morant. Just when it comes to this storyline here, the similarities between their storylines. It's the same shit. So this is them letting you know that pretty much the three-dimensional aspect is there. It's just that you have to pick up on it. When I say three-dimensional aspect, I'm just talking about the connections between Kyrie Irving and Ja Morant that's based in something, like the Hegelian dialectic. Because that's what it was, just based on Hegelian dialectic.
What was the Rushman judgment? Skip, I want Kyrie, Skip, because here's the thing now, when you elaborate on something, I need you to tell me, what did we get wrong about Ja?
They didn't say, he didn't say that you were wrong. He didn't say you guys were wrong. He just said that you judged them. He did not say that you were wrong, bro. So you just reaching for straws and shit, bro. Come on, my nigga. Like, he did not say that you guys were wrong. He just said that they were judged. They were scrutinized.
A lot of us said Ja is pretending to be something that he's not, in which one of the first things that he uttered in the sit down with Jalen Rose was, I was trying to be something that I'm not. So what did we get wrong?
He did not say you were wrong. He just said that it was judgment overload. What are you talking about, bro? These people, man, they try too hard, bro. They try too hard to create this air of contention, man. Especially with Kyrie Irving. They tried too fucking hard, bro. All the man said was he was judged. That's all he said. He didn't say that it was like the people that judged him were wrong in their judgment or what have you. He just said that he was judged, simply.
Ja was trying to pretend as a multi-hundred-millionaire that he was this gangster. He was a studio gangster. He talked about it. He wasn't about it. So what did we get? So Skip, what we're supposed to do? I guess in the media, we're supposed to see transgressions of an athlete and say, well, and once upon a time, that's how it was, Skip. There are a lot of times that media members saw player X doing something that wasn't with Miss C, and they took, ain't got nothing to do with me. See him doing something here, ain't got nothing to do with me. That's no longer the case, Skip.
Agreed.
All Kyrie Irving is talking about is a reaction that people got from what he did. And based off of how the media presented it, you have people that have, their judgments and whatnot because of how the media presents it. That's all he's saying. And it's similar to the Ja Morant thing. Now, Ja Morant did something that was more harsh than Kyrie Irving on the surface level, but it wasn't harsh than Kyrie Irving on a deeper level. Kyrie Irving did something that pretty much disrespected or threatened the power structure when it comes to the truth about so-called black people. So that was more harsh than what Ja Morant did. On the surface, obviously a gun is more harsher than information. But then, in certain ways, it's not. It's probably on the same level. It's like, you get what I'm saying? Like, it's just crazy how you have these situations that occur where it's like, wait, hold on. Kyrie Irving went through the same thing. Same shit. And the step-by-step process that took place after the decision that was made by the subject, such as a Kyrie Irving or a Ja Morant, is similar. When you get Adam Silver who says what he says, it's just like the same script that they're reading from. Let's copy and paste this Kyrie Irving thing to the Ja Morant thing, and let's just, instead of the book or the documentary, let's just use him flashing a gun. But it's nothing but like a copy and paste type of story.
And so I'm just trying to figure out what Kyrie thinks. Yep. That if you do something and you play a sport in which the media covers, they're supposed to seem like it didn't happen.
That's not what he's saying, Shannon. That's not what he's saying. All he said was, I have this, like me and Ja Morant, our situations are similar in terms of the reverberation, the judgment from it, the people as far as the scrutiny and whatnot. That's all Kyrie is saying. He's not saying that media members should turn a blind eye to what they do, or media members shouldn't, quote unquote, judge them or scrutinize them, criticize them. He's not saying that, bro. Oh my gosh.
Okay. Maybe some of the media members jumped to conclusions and said, well, you tweeted that and you're anti-Semitic. It's anti-Semitic, and you tried to, like clarify what you was doing. I want to just make sure, no, I'm not anti-Semitic. I'm pro this. Okay. But I'm just trying to figure out, and I love how he roped himself into this one also. But I want to stay on job. I think we've talked ad nauseum about Kyrie in this situation, and that worked itself out, and hopefully Nike will revisit the situation with the shoe. But I'm just trying to figure out, Skip, what did we get wrong about Ja?
He did not say you were wrong. He's pretty much drawing a comparison between him and Ja Morant in terms of how people scrutinize these athletes when it comes to the decisions that they make. That's all he's doing, based off of media presentation, where it's like the scrutiny sometimes can be lost, or it's incomplete based off of what that person doesn't know. You get what I'm saying? But even with that, all he's doing is simply drawing a comparison between his situation and Kyrie and Ja Morant's situation that's similar when it comes to the reverberation, when it comes to the reaction and the scrutiny, so on and so forth. These two people are polarizing figures in the entertainment industry. So it's not like he's oblivious to scrutiny or whatnot. He's oblivious to media, criticism. All he's saying is it was an overload of it. It was a lot of it.
Supposed to, like, if Ja does something or any athlete does something, or we're not supposed to say anything, just pretend like it didn't happen. Kyrie just
Bro, and you know what's funny about this shit, bro? They some hypocrites. LeBron James was just pretty much aired out by a credible source in Chael Sonnen. You know, he's a former MMA fighter. He has a podcast. He's well known. And y'all not saying nothing about it. Y'all not saying anything about the shit. So you a big ass hypocrite, Shannon Sharp. These people, man, like, it's just crazy. They want to talk about what Mario Chalmers is saying about LeBron James, just further pushing their idolatry for LeBron James, because no one can be scared of LeBron James. No one can fear LeBron James. Everybody got to be scared of the man. You people are some fucking hypocrites, and it's disgusting, man. That's all they do is just push bullshit. Nobody's talking about the LeBron James thing, but everybody want to come at Kyrie for what he's saying about what the media does or what people do in terms of judgment and whatnot. It's just bullshit. These people fucking hypocrites. Talk about LeBron James and these allegations. Or the truth regarding, because I believe that this person is under fucking PEDs. But talk about that. Come on, bro. Shit is disgusting, bro. It just made me, I just realized that, like, hey, like, bro, they not even talking about the LeBron James thing. Now, obviously, I know that when it comes to the higher ups, they probably issue to them like, yo, don't touch this. Don't touch this story. But it still shows the hypocrisy. It still shows the hypocrisy.
tell us what we got wrong. How did we get it wrong? Because it was prior to Ja having these incidents, nobody said anything negative. The media had nothing bad to say about Ja Morant.
Yeah.
Not one thing. Kyrie, you brought a lot of this on yourself. Since you went there, since you invited me in, you chose not to come to work and not tell your employer. True. You did that.
Wait, bro. What does that have to do with what Kyrie was saying? Kyrie's comparing the situation that took place with him posting the link to what Ja Morant did. That's all he's doing. He's just saying they judge my situation, they're judging his situation. Because he understands that it's pretty much the same script. Just on a deeper level. Kyrie Irving drew that comparison because he understands the connection between he and Ja Morant. But, you know, these people, they're fucking hypocrites, bro. They're hypocrites. It's so crazy.
You've been moody and mercurial. You did that. So don't pretend like, oh, all of a sudden people have got an axe to grind with you.
That's not what he's saying, bro. All the man said was, it's judgment overload when it comes to what these athletes do. He's not saying that people have personal issues. Well, he's not saying any of that shit, even though some do. But that's not what he's laid out there when it comes to what you saw in the beginning of this segment. All he said was my situation is comparable to Ja Morant's situation in terms of the overload from people and their critique and so on and so forth, reactions, opinions. That's all he's saying. That's all he's saying, bro. Like, what are you missing? It's like they just hear what they want to hear.
I don't have no extra grind with you because I don't know any of these guys personally. So everything I talk about is what transpired court or similarly related to the court. But I'm missing the point where he says we grind to have an extra grind or we got something wrong about Ja, because I just want to know what we got wrong about him.
Bro, he did not say that. He just said it was judgment overload, bro. Let's go back to it. Let's get it. Just so we can get the correct quote. It's just crazy.
John Morant returned to the Grizzlies bench last night. Kyrie Irving talked about Morant's situation. Kyrie saying, quote, there was an overload of judgment on Ja. There was an overload of judgment on what I had going on. And there's usually an overload of judgment from the public court of opinion. Shannon, you think Kyrie has a point here?
No.
That's all he said. He did not say that people have an axe to grind with him. He did not say that there's people who have personal issues with what he did. He just said that me and Ja, when it comes to what we did, there's, overload of judgment based off of reactions and opinions and whatnot. That's all he said. That's all he said. Like, I'm going hard like this is because, bro, like, these people, they just hear what they want to hear. He did not say that media members have an axe to grind with him. He just said that me and Ja's case is similar and the judgment overload is there. That's all he said. He just said that. So the media is so disgusting, man. And like I said, they're fucking hypocritical because they're not talking about LeBron James. They're not talking about the, the PED allegations around him. They're not doing that because he's high level commodity. High level commodity.
I'm missing the point where he says we grind to have an axe to grind or we got something wrong about Ja, because I just want to know what we got wrong about him.
Okay. I agree with every point you just made, maybe times 10. It's disturbing what Kyrie brought up, except for the very last point that he made, which was there's usually an overload of judgment from the public court of opinion. I will buy that.
Yeah.
In most cases, because of social media, there's almost always an overreaction. Not always, but many times an overreaction, and then the facts begin to come clear, and it's
Right.
like, whoops, maybe it wasn't quite what we thought.
Right.
Because when you react instantaneously, there can be an overload of judgment on Twitter, IG.
And that's all pretty much Kyrie Irving was emphasizing. Skip Bayless is letting you know that he understood what Kyrie Irving was really saying, but he gotta make sure, he gotta make Shannon Sharp not look silly. You feel what I'm saying? Because Shannon Sharp kind of looks stupid when it comes to his analysis. Because it was totally different from what Kyrie Irving said. Like, Kyrie Irving did not say that media members have an axe to grind or anything like that. So it's like, what's going on with your head, bro? Like, did you get too many fucking concussions or something? Like, what's going on? And Skip Bayless is pretty much letting you know that he understood what Kyrie Irving was really saying. But like I said, he has to say, oh, well, I agree with you 10 times just to make Shannon Sharp not feel stupid, because he was fucking looking stupid because he did not understand what Kyrie Irving was saying.
He was caught flashing a gun on IG Live, and now he is out for 2 games. He sent out a message stating that he will go through a healing process, but now he is being investigated by Colorado police after multiple incidents.
And you saw him throwing up the horns there. Ja Morant is just an asset, man. That's all he is. Just someone who's programmed.
What is he healing from?
Exactly. What was he healing from? It doesn't even make any sense. Like, you flashed a gun because you had stress and anxiety. That's how you know that this man was just programmed to do that, because it feeds into the narrative. The NBA is just a fucking soap opera, man. That's all it is. And that's just surface level. Obviously, we understand the deeper component.
That was going to be my first question. First, I wanted to allow Finn to say what she had to say. That was my first. The fuck is a healing process? See, you know what happens? You know what happens on some G shit? You know what happens? And I'm not being funny or none of this shit, because
it's really not funny.
Because you know what it is? They'll sit there and say that we insensitive because we grew up in another era and all that other shit. Niggas gotta stop playing with this mental health shit.
Yeah.
For real. When niggas get in trouble and niggas ain't doing shit right, niggas just running to that.
Yeah.
Yo, you know what? I bugged out and I...
Exactly. That's a great point. Now they'll use that to justify their idiocy when it comes to stupid ass decisions they make. Mental health. Now it's mental health. And then you start to lose an understanding of what mental health really is.
Now my brain ain't been working right. So,
but when he get the money from it, it's no mental issues.
Yeah.
You're really not supposed to pay somebody a lot that got mental issues.
Yeah.
But I think he just got goals. I think he's trying to make it out the league and make it to the hood.
I don't really think it's necessarily about him wanting to leave the league. It's more so about him being used as a puppet or a pawn to reinforce that ratchet black element of our people. You know what I mean? Like, you see him listening to the NBA Youngboy and just acting all ratchet and all out of sorts and shit. Like, that's what they trying to reinforce by using Ja Morant. And they use the whole healing process angle as justification. Like, he needs to heal. He's been stressed. Like, come on, bro. Those two don't even go together when it comes to him showing a gun and he's stressed. In the video, he seemed, lit. Like, he turned up and shit. But here you see with TMZ Sports, and you see the orange and the black, we already know what they represent in terms of the colors. They interviewed Ja Morant. Now the correlation there is something too. Ja Morant, Ja Rule. I said they interviewed Ja Morant. I meant to say Ja Rule. But yeah, Ja Rule and Ja Morant. Ya Rule. Right? Ya Rule. Just interesting there.
There's a situation with John Morant, okay? And I gotta ask, Patrick Beverly, you know, an NBA player, he's beloved. We all love his grit, you know. But he basically has something to say. He said that John Morant situation, John's just been influenced by gangster rap, and you know he loves it. He's in Memphis, and that's the big scene out there. I mean, is there any validity to that? Like that?
I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is. You know, hip hop is very influential. You know, I've done things in my youth because of hip hop. You know, Redman made how to roll a blunt. He started smoking blunt. You know what I'm saying? Snoop made gin and juice. Starts drinking gin and juice. I mean, so hip hop is very influential. I'm not gonna say it's not. How far people take it is what it is. But you know, the thing with Ja, I just hope he has better people around him and just let him know that ain't the way. I mean, go play ball, man. Do you, man? The streets ain't about nothing, man. Go grind on them, keep balling. You know, that's it, man. We all make mistakes, man. I made plenty when I was young, so it happens. You know, people got to get a ball from right now. Let him do his healing process, come back and ball out.
Well, he's supposed to come back in 2 games here. It's 8 games, and he's paid 2. You think they can win a title? Like, this guy's so young and hungry, man, and he's
you never know, man. It's basketball. You know, guys get hurt, people go down, and they could be next up to sneak in and take it all. Do I think they're ready right now? If everybody in the league's healthy? Yeah. That's a different story.